Hello everyone and welcome back to the Colorado Rockies franchise. I realized while editing last episode that last season the Rockies finished with 51 victories, 51 and 111, and currently we're 52 and 71. So we've already got one more win with 40 games left to play. So there's definitely been improvement. I think it's kind of been hard to see in the actual gameplay, but if you look at the record and the stats, the Rockies are improving, but coming from 51 and 111 is not exactly super impressive. We're still a pretty terrible baseball team, but it's nice to see things going in the right direction. We're 29 games back of the Dodgers in first, and the only team really in contention with them is the Diamondbacks. The Padres are also not particularly close. Here's the NL wildcard. We're 13 games back here as well, not that I necessarily anticipate being able to make a playoff push. The NL Central is led by the Cardinals at 69 and 54, and the NL East by the Braves at 73 and 49. The AL East is the Blue Jays at 70 and 53. Guardians are 67 and 56. They lead the Central. The Astros are 76 and 46. They lead the West. And the wild card is led by the Rangers at 73 and 48. I saw somebody point out that the Johan Oviedo trade was a fleece, and I agree that it was, definitely with him as a starting pitcher. But you do have to remember his overall was down a lot as a relief pitcher, and I think that there could be a realistic argument here that maybe the Pirates were just using him wrong. Like, let's say that trade is made in real life and you see Oviedo converted to a starting pitcher where he was a reliever with the old team. I think the argument would be made that maybe the other team just didn't know how to use him properly. The Rockies are on a bit of a cold streak right now, losing 6 of their last 7 games. And also in the last episode, we gave Satchel Paige a chance at the MLB where he was absolutely horrific. So he has been sent back down to AAA to hopefully get his mojo back. Before coming up to the MLB, he was playing pretty well, a 3.8 ERA, a 1.42 WHIP, and a 3.6 WAR. But at the MLB, he was awful, to say the least. So we've brought up Ryan Feltner, could have brought up Quinn Priester, could have brought Dollander back up probably, but Feltner's a little older. We don't have to worry as much about him playing poorly. We can kind of just let him play and leave the young guys to develop down at AAA and AA, and then bring them up next season. By the way, if you were curious, Barry Cohen and Yanquiel Fernandez are currently battling for the Rookie of the Year award. It's going to be one of the two of them. Currently, it's leaning towards Cohen. Fernandez has him beat in the average department, but Cohen has more home runs and more RBIs. In the previous episode, I mentioned wanting to play this game against Paul Skeens, and while I think that could be fun, I want to start focusing on maybe a full series instead of individual games going forward. So I think I'd actually like to focus on this Oakland Athletics series. So let's go ahead and sim through these couple games against the Pirates and get into that. The Rockies have defeated the Pirates 4-3 in game number 2 against Skeens. Soroka getting his 10th win on the season. Ahmed Rosario with a hit and a couple walks. Cohen got 2 hits. Fernandez with a hit and an RBI. Tovar with 2 hits, 2 RBIs. Soroka went 6 2/3, only giving up 1 earned run and 9 strikeouts. I think a contract extension for him was well deserved. Justin Lawrence came in, gave up 2 more runs, and then Gilbreth and Beeks shut it down, although Gilbreth did walk twice. And the rubber match against the Pirates, Oviedo on the mound. He's in 7 innings and he has a shutout going. We'll see if he can keep it, and he does. 2-0 over his former team, the Pittsburgh Pirates. Oviedo went 7 full innings, giving up a walk, 7 strikeouts, no earned runs. It was a shutout for the Rockies. Justin Lawrence had a good performance with 3 strikeouts in his 1 inning pitched. Welcome everybody to Coors Field. The Colorado Rockies facing off against the Oakland Athletics here in a series near the end of the season. Only a little over a month left. Rockies 54 and 71, Athletics 43 and 82. In the first matchup of this series, we'll be doing a player lock with Jordan Beck in left field. It's Cal Quantrill on the mound for the Rockies. He's been a pretty quality starter these last 2 seasons. Let's see if he can get it done today. He's 10-7, one of the few pitchers on the team with a positive record. So we're at a full count to the first batter, Esteury Ruiz, today, and Jordan Beck will have to come in on this one. That'll be a base hit for Ruiz. Part of the reason I wanted to talk about Beck as he comes up to bat for the first time here in the bottom of the 3rd is just because of how crowded our outfield is. My plans for next season are Yanquiel Fernandez, Brenton Doyle, and Nolan Jones to be the primary outfielders. But Jordan Beck has relatively high potential, almost as high as Fernandez. I think it's 87 or 88. And so I have been considering a move with Nolan Jones by moving him to third, which is one of his secondary positions, and having Beck play in left or right. And then, of course, you've got Verdugo, but he's more of a platoon guy against lefties as Jordan Beck strikes out looking. I want Beck to be a part of the future, but will he be is the question as he gets a hanging circle change in his next at bat. This one's deep to right, but caught at the wall. Nearly a home run. But nothing for Jordan Beck. He's upset about it. He knew he should have bombed that one. Still 0-0, only one hit for the Athletics so far. Now we fast forward to the top of the seventh, a pitcher's duel in Coors Field, which is a bit of a rarity, as Beck will get this one back in and throws it on to second. That's a leadoff base hit in the seventh. We fast forward to the bottom of the seventh. It's still 0-0, no runners on for Beck. As a solo shot, which maybe this is one, would take the lead. It's deep to left. It's going to be warning track power for the second at bat in a row for Jordan Beck. Absolutely brutal. He got a hold of two of them and just didn't quite have the power to push him over. But hey, the Rockies get the dub. Fernandez with an RBI triple gives a 1-0 lead for Colorado, and that is all it took to take down the Athletics here in game number 1. Player lock games always go by so fast. Cal Quantrill pitched a complete game shutout, only gave up 3 hits, 4 strikeouts. What a day for Cal Quantrill. His ERA is all the way down to a 3.2. No hits today for Jordan Beck. Nearly had 2 home runs. I think maybe he even should have had 2 home runs. But let me know what you guys think about the future of this Rockies outfield. Brenton Doyle is going to be back at the MLB level next season. I really just wanted him to sit down at AA or AAA for just 1 year to hopefully improve the bat at least a little bit. So the Rockies take the first game in the series against the Athletics, now 55-71 on the season. I think this middle game is going to be the one we play the full game on, and then we'll probably do a player lock with Ryan Feltner in the third one. Let's get it started. Welcome back to Coors Field yet again, everybody. The Rockies in game number 2 against the Athletics. The opportunity to take the series here in game number 2. It'll be Jack Flaherty on the mound today for the Rockies. And Sterling Thompson, though he's been red hot, was a little tired, so we gave him the day off at third base. You'll see Ahmed Rosario over there and Eleris Montero as the DH. Flaherty has been really bad this year, just to be honest. A 5.34 ERA, a 1.67 whip. He's 4-10 on the year. A lot of our other starters have been really promising, and Flaherty was one of the big free agent acquisitions of the Rockies, and he has not been off to a great start in his first year in the purple. Speaking of the purple, we're in the purple pinstripes today. I feel like we don't see this look a lot from the Rockies, as most of the time it's the full purple shirts or the City Connects. Flaherty faces Ruiz. 1-0 is the count, and he left a hanging curveball. Swing and a miss on a nasty slider from Jack Flaherty. That's the first out of the day. And a sinker gets rifled at Ezequiel Tovar, and that is an easy out, number 2 on the first pitch. And that is going to be a base hit for Nelson Velazquez, the first hit for either team on the day. And it comes with 2 outs in the top of the first. Flaherty faces Shea Langoliers now, and left one hanging down the middle. It's high and deep to left. Can Jordan Beck get underneath it? He can. And that'll end the top part of the first. But a scary way to end it with a hanging fastball from Jack Flaherty. Ahmed Rosario, still the leadoff man, still batting over 300 on the season, and this is going to be a base hit to start the day for him. In fact, it looks like it's going to be a double. Gets all the way to the wall in right field. First pitch swinging for Ahmed Rosario, and it pays off. Stand-up double for him, his 22nd on the season, which is maybe not good for first, but it's probably top 3 on the team. I mean, he only plays against left-handed pitching. Speaking of left-handed pitching, it's Terry Clay on the mound today for the Athletics. He's only 20 years old. He's got good K per 9, decent stamina. The velo is quite bad, and okay break and control. Actually looks like this was a draft pick from last season, and he just started with a very high overall. Unfortunately for him, he plays for the Athletics, and therefore will not have a lot of opportunities to win. Here's another pitch from Terry Clay. First pitch swinging again from Nolan Jones. He'll advance Rosario to third, though. So a productive out at the very least for our number 2 hitter. Which brings up Ezequiel Tovar, now batting third. Swing and a miss for Ezequiel Tovar on a curveball in the dirt. And that's out number 2. That was actually not a curveball, it was a changeup. Only 75 miles per hour on his changeup. It's very slow. And that's his fastball at 86. Throws a cutter, a changeup, a curveball, and a slider, and his cutter really only touches 87. The man throws slow. It's kind of hard to get a read on. It almost looks like he's throwing through mud. Just watch how fast this pitch comes in, and it's right on the edge. A changeup I thought was leaving the zone, but it's just so slow I can't get a read on it. And that's strike number 3, so the leadoff double doesn't amount to much. You'd think the slow pitches would be helpful, but really just makes it more difficult, honestly. I'll get a read on it, though. I'm sure we'll be crushing him here soon. Flaherty having a hard time locating pitches here against Soderstrom. See if he can fight back or if he'll walk him. That's a fastball right down the middle. And strike 3 looking for Tyler Soderstrom. That was kind of a meatball as well. Just decided not to swing. And that is high and deep to left. And the 0-0 tie is broken up here in the top of the second. Dalbec bombs one to left, 102 off the bat, 427, his 17th on the season. And Jack Flaherty giving up yet another home run. The pitch location definitely wasn't great, but it wasn't the worst. Definitely have seen worse from Flaherty and from other pitchers, but it was high and deep to left. Miguel Andujar is the next batter for the A's. Let's see if Flaherty can reel this one back in. And this is a grounder to Barry Cohen. He'll step on the bag. There's out number 2. This one is deep to right. That's going to be off the wall. Nolan Jones has a big arm. Do you think he can throw him out at second? Not really much of a chance there. Cohen covering the bag, and that's Yorbit Vivas with a double. Only his 2nd on the year. He must have just recently been called up by the Athletics. I think he was a prospect in the Dodgers farm system, potentially. He may have been traded and is now a starter for the Athletics. So Flaherty struggling here with 2 outs already in the inning. Does get a soft grounder, though, to second. Rogers throws on to first, and that'll end the top part of the 2nd inning. And absolutely crushed by Brendan Rodgers to dead center. Only the 2nd pitch he saw in the at-bat. Terry Clay's lack of velocity comes back to bite him finally. We waited on an off-speed pitch. It feels like every one of his pitches is off-speed with how slow they are. We crush it deep to center. Brendan Rodgers ties us back up 1-1 with a solo shot to center field. And now Yanquiel Fernandez launches one to left. It sounded good off the bat, but it goes straight to the left fielder, out number 1. Well, at least we're making good contact, I guess. That was another perfect, actually. Mejia now at the plate. And Mejia gets a perfect. That's 3 perfects in a row. Right back up the middle for Francisco Mejia. Something tells me that we're going to be able to crush Terry Clay in this lack of velocity. It's just a lot easier to time up. It threw me off in the 1st inning, but I've got a hold of it here in the 2nd, evidently. I got to give him credit, though. His changeup is actually nasty. It just drops out at the very end. That last changeup to Beck was very good. There's a grounder to the left side. The shortstop gets a hold of it, and they actually managed to double them up there. Wow, what a crazy double play made by the shortstop. Brendan Rodgers ties us up, but that does end the inning. Popped up by Ruiz. Tovar underneath it here, and to start the 3rd, it'll be 1 out. And a grounder on the very next pitch goes to Barry Cohen, and there's 2 gone in the top part of the 3rd. Swing and a miss on the down and away slider, and a very quick 3rd inning for Jack Flaherty. Here's Eleris Montero, who grounds this softly onto short. He's a guy we haven't seen a lot this season, but he has been the backup first baseman for the majority of the year. Getting to DH today due to Sterling Thompson being tired and him having good stats against lefties. Zamed Rosario, one of the best guys on the team against lefties, is up to bat. And Rosario gonna get his second base hit on the day. Sneaks through past the second baseman. We've got a runner on with one gone for Nolan Jones. And Ahmed Rosario is gonna get picked off here. What is he doing? I love the automatic base running because it makes for funny moments like this. But he didn't even move when Terry Clay stepped off, and now so much for a base runner for Nolan. Nolan Jones would have grounded into a double play probably, it looks like, so that'll end the third anyway. Weird play by Ahmed Rosario, and nothing doing offensively for the Rockies. Flaherty here in the fourth. Left one up just enough, and it's an automatic double as it bounced fair. Shea Langoliers with a double to lead off the fourth inning. Grounder back up the middle. Tovar will stab it, and that probably saved the run, actually. If that gets through Tovar, I'm betting Langoliers scores from second, but that's the first out now. Great play by Ezekiel. This is the man who homered last time up. Let's hopefully not give him that opportunity this time. Man, I don't know how he lays off those last two pitches. That is crazy. Both of them right on the edge with two strikes, and Dahlbeck wanted nothing to do with them, and then he walks. The most patient man on the Athletics. Runners on the corners with only one out. This isn't the end of the world, though, because it does set up a double play right on the corner, painted by Jack Flaherty. Swing and a miss on the slider. That's what I was looking for with Dahlbeck. Got it with Andujar instead, and that's two gone in the inning. Yorbit Vivas is battling here. It's been a 1-2 count for the whole at bat, it feels like. Finally he gets him, and that'll end the fourth. A bit of a scary situation for Flaherty, but he gets out of it with no damage done. To start the bottom of the fourth, Ezekiel Tovar has worked the count full. Barry Cohen, of course, on deck. And Tovar swings and misses on that changeup. That is his best pitch easily. Barry Cohen got a meatball down the middle. Sounded like fairly weak contact, though, and that'll be two outs now in the fourth. Yeah, timing was good. It was a cut fastball down the middle. Cohen just missed it. Here's Rogers. He homered his last time up. Can he do it again? No. Grounder to short on the first pitch, and he does not beat it out. And quickly go the Rockies in the fourth. Flaherty walks the first guy he faces, and now we're to the top of the order for the Athletics. This is high and deep, but luckily is going to go foul. Look at where that fastball was. That is not where I aimed at all. Got some arms going in the bullpen now because Flaherty's starting to scare me with these pitches. That is a great curveball, though. And that was a hanging curveball, and that one gets down for a hit. So 2 hits to start the inning for the A's. This is getting a little dangerous. This one is popped to right as well. Go ahead, test Nolan Jones's arm. They won't do it. Nolan, an absolute cannon on the money to third as well. So 1 out, runners on first and second. Can Jack get out of the inning? A great fastball to start the at-bat against Nelson Velasquez. And this looks like it might be a double play ball. Tovar, Rogers, Cohen, and that is 2 more outs. Make it 3 total, and make that the end of the 5th. Let's get some offense going for the Rockies, shall we? Maybe it'll start with Yanquiel Fernandez against Terry Clay, who left a pitch hanging, and it was mishandled at short. And that's going to be an E6, I assume, that gets Yanquiel on base. It is indeed. You might notice, by the way, Yanquiel Fernandez is wearing number 16. He's wearing number 15 at AA in real life, so I set that as his preferred number. 15 was already taken, so he picked 16. You might notice the same with Sterling Thompson, although he's not playing in this episode so far. I want to say that Thompson is wearing the number 8. Mejia now at the plate, runner on, and that one is lined right at the bat boy, or the ball boy rather, there in left. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Francisco Mejia. Terry Clay, the lefty, left a changeup kinda up, and it's a swing and a miss from Mejia. That changeup is crazy. All the way down at 79 miles per hour. It's so hard to wait on it. Because now we'll see Jordan Beck. Jordan Beck gets one to hit, and he pushes it into right. That's a base hit for the Rockies. And it's Yanquiel Fernandez and Jordan Beck, 2 of our rookies, on first and second. Here comes Eleris Montero. He's the number 9 hitter today. This would normally be Sterling Thompson, and I would actually much prefer it were Sterling Thompson, as Thompson has been red hot, but Montero gets it done as well. And Fernandez is going to hold up at third. Maybe should have gone. That throw is way offline. But now it's bases loaded, and we get to the top of the order for the Rockies. Ahmed Rosario, 2 for 2 on the day. Got caught in a pickle earlier. Could be a hero for the Rockies today. I would hope for a minimum of 1 run to come from this at bat. Let's see if we can make that happen. As Rosario got a cutter to hit. Grounds this to third. Is it going to be a double play? Rosario's fast, but not fast enough. Even with the 90 speed and the slowly hit ball, it's a double play, and no runs are added for the Rockies. That is brutal. Flaherty's starting to get a little low on stamina. This will probably be his final inning of work. But let's just see if he can get through the whole thing as he faces Shea Langoliers. Strike 3 called on a slider right on the outside edge. And there's the 6th strikeout on the day for Flaherty. Faces Soderstrom, who pops this softly to right. Out number 2. Well, if he gets through this inning quickly, we could let him take another one potentially. He's at 82 pitches on the day, which is not a ton, but he doesn't have the best stamina in the world. No way Bobby Dahlbeck just sent basically the exact same pitch as the first time he went yard deep again. That is unreal. Never throw it high and outside to Bobby Dahlbeck. He will send it deep. I guarantee it. 2 for 2 on pitches on the outside corner, and Dahlbeck has 2 homers. That one not quite as far outside as the first pitch we threw him that he homered, but man, oh man. Now he left a hanging slider. I think that this definitely has to be his last batter. I don't even know if Fernandez will get there. He doesn't. Bounces off the wall, and that's good for a double, and he holds up at second as we get it into Rosario over there at third. Oh no, this is getting bad for Flaherty. I'd love for him to be able to finish this. I want him to get through this inning if possible. Grounder will get through the infield. Beck will have to save a run with the throw, and he can't do it. Another run given up by Flaherty. And now it's 3-1. I guess we should have taken him out of the game. That'll be the end of Jack Flaherty's day. I should have pulled him a batter earlier probably, but it looked like he was going to be able to get it done, and that curveball he threw is actually in the corner. It was just a good piece of hitting. Gives up 3 in 5 2/3. We'll bring in Cody Hoyer to take over. Still yet to give up an earned run. He faces Nick Allen. Swing and a miss on the slider from Cody Hoyer. And there you go. That ends the top part of the 6th. Should have just brought in Hoyer a batter ago. Well, we need base runners. And what we need is to learn to crush Terry Clay, who just leaves things hanging. Nolan Jones first pitch swinging and first pitch out. His top part of the order, other than Ahmed Rosario, has really let the Rockies down today. Nolan Jones hasn't done much. Tovar hasn't done much. Tovar will get a base hit in this at-bat against Terry Clay. Gets through the infield, and that is a single for Ezekiel Tovar. And here comes Barry Cohen, the current leader for Rookie of the Year. I still need to change up his swag because it does not look very good. There's a cut fastball that he fouls off. Swing and a miss on the changeup. I cannot read Terry Clay's changeup at all. It just drops so much at the last possible second. Here's Brendan Rodgers. He's the only run for the Rockies so far today. Got one to hit. This is relatively deep to right field, but not deep enough. That'll end the 6th inning. Still no more run support from the Rockies. One gone in the 7th for Cody Hoyer. He faces Jacob Wilson, and there's strike number 1. And he left a fastball up a little too much, although fastballs are supposed to be up. I guess what I'm really trying to say is he left it down. He didn't get it up enough. And that is a base hit for Jacob Wilson. That is a called ball. Man, that took me by surprise. This umpire has been really good all game, calling things even like right on the edge. A strike. That one, called ball. And then he swings at that one, does Velasquez. We'll go to the slider. The strikeout pitch. He does not give. And then Hoyer hits him with a 97-mile-per-hour heater. That one got away from him, which is interesting because Hoyer has really good control. That's part of why I like him so much. He's got 81 control, 83 velo, and 99 break. So his fastball can hit 98. His curveball, actually he doesn't throw a curveball. His slider breaks a lot. That's a called ball. 2 runners on and only 1 out. Shea Langoliers hits this one to right, and Jones, bit of a throwing error. That one is stopped by Cohen, but it's going to let both of the runners advance. Is that going to be an error for Nolan Jones? It's an E9 for Nolan Jones. That looked like more of an error from Barry Cohen. That is unfortunate. E9 from Nolan advances the 2 runners. 3-0 count to Tyler Soderstrom from Hoyer, and there's a strike. That's a grounder onto Brendan Rodgers. That should end the inning, and it will. Yanquiel Fernandez at the plate. We're now in the bottom of the 7th. It's still Terry Clay, and we still can't figure out how to hit him. Grounder up the middle for Fernandez. Shortstop is there, and the throw is offline. I think that's another E6, which is going to be the second one on the day for the shortstop. Wasn't it Fernandez that reached last time due to an E6 as well? So back-to-back leadoffs for Fernandez that were E6s. How about that? As Mejia will hit a grounder into right field, and that'll be 2 runners on to start the inning. And finally, Terry Clay is done. Here comes Declan Cronin into the game. 6.18 ERA on the season. First batter he faces is Jordan Beck. 2 on, nobody out for the young fella. Got one to hit for Jordan Beck, but I mean, it's right at the right fielder. Fernandez is tagging up, actually, and makes it safely to third base. So we've got a man 90 feet closer to scoring a run. Runners on the corners for Eleris Montero, and I think I might pinch hit here. Verdugo is quite a bit better against righties, but interestingly, Montero actually has higher clutch. But we are going to bring in Verdugo to pinch hit here. Declan Cronin versus Alex Verdugo. Here comes the first pitch. Verdugo got one to hit, and that was early on the swing. It's an 0-2 count now to Alex Verdugo. There's ball number 1. Got another one to hit, and we're just a touch early again. That time it was a 2-seamer, so it was slightly slower than his 4-seam. Declan throws 3 different types of fastballs. And he threw another one here. Is it deep enough to right to score Fernandez? He's going to test it. I didn't press the button. Fernandez went on his own, and he's safe at the plate. The throw was slightly offline from Velasquez, and that means that Verdugo gets his job done. He gets to the RBI. The Rockies are within 1 now, and it's Ahmed Rosario. He's 2 for 3 on the day. Still has a runner on first. He gets one to hit. Is this going to get down for a base hit? It is, and it's actually going to get through into the gap, and this will definitely score the tying run for the Colorado Rockies. Ahmed Rosario, 3 hits on the day. This one is a double, and it scores the tying run for Colorado. Got it into the gap, a good piece of hitting just past the outstretched arm of the outfielder. And it is a 3-3 tie here in Denver, which brings up Nolan Jones, who they are going to walk intentionally. They're scared of Nolan Jones, and I guess not scared of Ezequiel Tovar. I actually think the reason for that is to get a force out at all 3 bags, but let's just pretend that they're scared of Nolan Jones, so that when Ezequiel Tovar crushes one, it feels even better, but he doesn't crush one. Great play by the third baseman. Jacob Wilson makes a play, saves a run, and it's all knotted up here in Coors Field. We'll bring in Caleb Ferguson here for the Colorado Rockies. The A's seem to be a lot better against hitting lefties, but Ferguson's been so strong this year, I don't really have much doubt in him at this point. This umpire has suddenly lost all ability to call strikes. Pitch number 2, obviously way off the plate. Pitch number 4 and number 1 hit the plate and were both called balls, and pitch number 3 was a foul. Swing and a miss on the cut fastball from Bobby Dahlbeck. And he's going to pop the curveball way up. Caleb Ferguson fighting back in that at-bat, playing against the umpire more than the batter. This one is sent way back up the middle very, very quickly. 104 exit velo. Base hit for Andujar means a runner on first for Yorbit Vivas. Got him to swing at the sweeper. Can we double them up here? Vivas isn't the fastest, and he's not in time to first. 5-4-3 double play. Down go the Athletics in the 8th. Another solid inning of work from Caleb Ferguson. Now it's the bottom of the 8th. If the Rockies can take the lead in this inning, we could find ourselves in a save situation for Jalen Beeks, who I would say has been our second best reliever this season. 3 balls, 1 strike for Barry Cohen. Now would be the one he'd get to hit, but it's going to be ball number 4, and Cohen will take his base, bringing up Brendan Rodgers. He hit a solo shot in the 2nd. A 2-run bomb here would be huge for the Rockies, but really just base hits is all I want. But instead, he's going to ground into a 5-4-3 double play. For the Athletics, anything you can do, they can do better. I feel like we have hit into the most inopportune double plays today. And now here's Yanquiel Fernandez. Can he reach on another E6? Let's find out. Fernandez pops this one to shallow left center, but the center fielder makes his way over there. That'll end the bottom part of the 8th. So if the Rockies are going to win, they're going to have to do it in the bottom of the 9th. Here's Jonathan Loaizaga to try to get us through the top part of the 9th so that the Rockies could walk it off. Loaizaga had a really tough start to the season, but has cleaned it up nicely. Probably our 3rd best reliever behind Ferguson and Beeks this season. Swing and a miss on the slurve. And Loaizaga has 1 on 3 pitches. Strike number 3 to Esteury Ruiz. And that was also on 3 pitches. If he can strike out Jacob Wilson in 3 pitches, it would be an immaculate inning. Can Loaizaga get it done? There's strike 1. There's strike number 2. Loaizaga will go to the slurve. It struck out the first 2. Can it get the last one? No, it's actually going to be a base hit over the top of Barry Cohen's head. Nolan Jones will get it back in. 1 pitch away from an immaculate inning. Now he faces Nelson Velasquez. This will be the first circle change all inning. Surely it gets him. It does not. Way too low in the dirt. So we go to the 2-2 pitch. Let's go back to the circle change. This one he actually kept in the zone, but it's fouled. Maybe the slurve can get it done again. Loaizaga misses. So now the count's full. Shea Langoliers on deck. Loaizaga left a sinker right down the middle. Nolan Jones will throw this on to 3rd. Has a huge arm. Loaizaga always seems to get into these situations where he gets the first 2 outs incredibly quickly, and then he can't get the last one. And now the Athletics have taken the lead here in the top part of the 9th. Loaizaga strikes out the first 2 on 6 pitches and now has given up a run. That is crazy. Goes from an immaculate inning to what is likely a loss now because the Rockies' bats haven't been able to do anything today. This is a grounder onto Ezekiel Tovar. He'll throw it onto Rodgers, and that'll end the top part of the 9th, but the run given up. Shea Langoliers will give the Athletics the chance to win, but they no longer have Mason Miller. They traded him away. So their closing pitcher is Zach Jackson, who does have a 2.36 ERA, 27% strikeout rate, sub 200 against righties and lefties. Wow, Zach Jackson does have really good hit and K per 9 and home run per 9, but bad walk per 9 and not the best control. He's no Mason Miller, but he's not a slouch either. It'll be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters that have to get it done against Zach Jackson. And Mejia gets hit by the first pitch he sees. That was actually the second pitch. I don't know why I lied to you just now about that being the first pitch. That brings up Jordan Beck with a base runner on first. Jackson, not the best with his control, has bad walks per 9. Let's see if we can take advantage. They do have the 3rd baseman playing in. I don't think we're going to bunt him with Beck. But we could, but Beck instead gonna hit one deep to right field, and this is probably gonna score the runner. We're gonna send Mejia from 3rd to home, and it's a tie baseball game once again at Coors Field. 4-4 in the bottom of the 9th. A clutch piece of hitting from the rookie Jordan Beck. And here's Verdugo. Can he bat Jordan Beck home? and make it a walk-off victory for the Rockies. Grounder onto second, which isn't all bad because it advances the runner to third. So now Jordan Beck only a sac fly away from making it home. We'll bring out Ahmed Rosario. He is 3 for 4 on the day. If he can make it his 4th base hit, he would walk it off. It is a 1-1 count. Zach Jackson has thrown a couple good pitches, a slider and a fastball. That one is a pitch out. Did they think I was going to try to steal home? Maybe they were looking for the bunt into stealing home play, which did cross my mind, actually. Rosario swings and misses on that slider very early. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Zach Jackson trying to get out of this pickle with no further damage done. Ahmed Rosario hits this one deep, and even if it wasn't getting down, it would have scored the run for the Rockies, and they'll walk it off. Things you absolutely love to see if you're a Rockies fan, and things you probably hate to see if you're an Oakland Athletics fan. Loaizaga will actually get credit with the win, even though he gave up the leading run to the Athletics, and Zach Jackson takes the loss. Player of the game absolutely deserved is Ahmed Rosario. 2 doubles, 2 RBIs, just a hit parade for him alone. Loaizaga, a pitch away from an immaculate inning, still allows that run. That inning was crazy. Here's the Athletics box score if you're curious. Terry Clay went 6 full innings, didn't give up a walk, and had 5 strikeouts. Declan Cronin came in, gave up 2 walks, with no earned runs. And here's the Rockies box score. Got nothing out of Nolan Jones. 4 hits out of Rosario, though. A hit out of Ezekiel Tovar. Barry Cohen with no hits, but did walk along with Jones. Brendan Rodgers with that solo shot early in the game. Mejia with a couple hits. Beck with a couple hits. Montero with a hit. And Verdugo didn't get a hit, but did have an RBI. Jack Flaherty had a pretty good performance. 5 2/3, 3 earned runs, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. It was going really well for a while, and then I think we just left him in a batter too long. Cody Hoyer was really good in relief, 1.1 innings pitched, 1 strikeout, and only 1 hit allowed. Caleb Ferguson, as always, was immaculate, and Loaizaga almost had an immaculate inning until he allowed a little bit of a 2-out rally, but it's okay. The Rockies bats bounced back and took the victory. The Rockies, after that victory, by the way, have won 4 straight and 5 of their last 6. Still 12 games back of the wild card, but we're not that far under 500, which is actually the goal of this season. And the contract goal, which is 3 years, is to reach the postseason. Hopefully we don't get fired after next season, because I doubt we're reaching the postseason, although I will give it a try, that is for sure. And in the final game of the series here against the Athletics, it'll be the debut on the season for Ryan Feltner. He started a good chunk of last year. He was really, really bad, has not played a lot this year, but the 5th spot in our pitching rotation has been not good. The top 4 guys have not been terrible. We just can't find that rock of a 5th guy. Glenn Otto seemed like he might be it. We traded him away, and now we're trying to find whoever is going to fill that hole. The Rockies have already won the series. Let's see if they can get the sweep. So here we go. Ryan Feltner. He throws pretty hard. Let's see if he can get it done today. I don't see Feltner really being a long-term part of the team at all, except for maybe as a reliever as he strikes out Esteury Ruiz on his first batter of the day. And that is another out, actually. I wasn't commentating there. I thought that was just going to land foul, but Jordan Beck gets there. So Jacob Wilson goes down. Only 6 pitches so far for Feltner. Could go for a fake immaculate inning, but there's ball number 1. So that will not be happening. But every pitch so far previous to that one had been a strike. And he can hit about 97 on the gun. He's really not a bad pitcher. He just is already 28. I think he's C potential. There's not a ton of room for growth for him. I think that his peak would be a solid bullpen arm, as that was a hanging slider. Can Beck get to this one? No, it's off the mesh. I will say I really like his pitching motion. It's so quick and easy. Although he cannot get Nelson Velasquez out. This has doubled his pitch count. There's the swing and the miss. And that'll end the top part of the first. This is a player lot game with Feltner, so we will not see the Rockies bats today unless we step in near the end. Nolan Jones hit a solo shot to start the day, and so Feltner finds himself with a 1-0 lead. You love to see it. Here's Bobby Dahlbeck, who has been the arch nemesis of this series, as that was a kind of crazy call from the ump. Dahlbeck has worked the count full, so here's the 3-2 payoff pitch from Feltner, and it's very low on the circle change. Here's Feltner's attributes if you need a refresher. It's really just the per nines that need work. His control, his velo, and his break are all decent. His stamina is not the best, but it's passable. Really, he's not a bad pitcher if you look at the attributes. 1-2 count to Tyler Soderstrom. And that one is to right center field. Yanquiel Fernandez underneath it, playing in center. Clark Elliott. This is not a name we saw in yesterday's action. What a snag by Barry Cohen. Makes the throw on to second and then the put out at first. The guy is not an elite fielder, but you'd think otherwise looking at a play like this. Let's see it one more time. What a snag by Barry Cohen. And that is a 3-6-3 double play to end the inning. Fernandez with an RBI triple, Thompson with an RBI single, and it is 3-0 Rockies. Love to see the young players playing well. I know Nolan Jones maybe isn't considered a young player of this team. He's 26, so he's not old. He's 2 years younger than this man we got pitching right now. Good to see Feltner with a lead, though, as Andujar will get a base hit, and that might be the first base hit of the day for the Athletics. That was indeed the first base hit of the day, as Feltner having himself a pretty good start to the afternoon. That was a slider that caught a little bit too much of the plate, and that's going to be back-to-back singles to start the third. Not great for Ryan Feltner. Maybe he can get out of it, though. Here's Darrell Urnaiz, who we also did not see in the battle yesterday. Feltner struggling a little bit with control, and they're laying off of anything even marginally out of the zone. His fastball's really been the only pitch I've liked, and he does get a swing and a miss from Urnaiz. So that's the first out of the inning, and now we're to the top of the order with Ruiz. Ball number 1. Grounder up the middle, Ezequiel Tovar, 6-4-3 double play. The Rockies, the kings of double plays year after year. They get out of another inning with one. No more run support from the offense this time as we fast forward to the top of the fourth. Feltner's still doing a great job so far. This one into right, though, and that's another leadoff single. What is that? 3 innings in a row, I think, with a leadoff base runner. Nelson Velasquez comes to the plate after the leadoff, and that's a grounder onto Tovar again. 6-4-3, another double play for the Rockies. That is 3 innings in a row with a double play. I think I actually may like Feltner a touch more than Satchel Paige, at least in terms of the type of pitcher he is. He's going to walk more batters than Paige, but he's not going to allow as much contact, which you definitely don't want to allow contact at Coors Field. Strike 3 swinging on Bobby Dahlbeck on a pitch that was right down the middle. A Sterling Thompson solo home run. What is that kid on? Sterling Thompson last episode was absolutely on fire. He's up to a 294 average on the season. This average is prior to this game. Over a 350 on base percentage. His slugging OPS is good. The guy is suddenly playing at an absolutely elite level. I was feeling meh about him before, and we drafted his presumptive replacement in Rob Kearns, but maybe Sterling Thompson has a spot on this team. My only concern is that his secondary positions are in the outfield. So if he's not playing third, he has to play in the outfield, and we already have way too much depth there. Could be a platoon guy, though. It's just that we already have so many guys in the outfield that could be platoon guys. It's so hard to know what to do with Sterling Thompson. We'll have to take a look after this game, see if Sterling Thompson's potential has climbed at all during this good run of form. It was 80 potential previously, just a flat 80. So we'll see if it has stayed the same. Maybe it's bumped up to like an 84 or something. Swinging on a terrible sinker is Clark Elliott, and an easy play for Brendan Rodgers. What a day it's been for Ryan Feltner. He's been giving up decent contact, but no runs allowed yet. Swing and a miss on a nasty slider from Ryan Feltner. Feltner will enter the 6th. No runs allowed yet. The Rockies putting up 4, looking to get their 5th victory in a row. If you look there in the bottom right on the scoreboard, we probably missed it, but Yorby Vivas was acquired from the Yankees in a trade this season. And I just remembered that the Yankees got him from the Dodgers in a trade, I want to say 2 years ago in this universe, so 2023. As that is a swing and a miss. Ryan Feltner, have yourself a day. By the way, I have to say for the show, I love these little updates that they give. They tell you where players were acquired from. The ticker at the bottom gives you actually worthwhile updates and not just score updates. It's great. That was a slider left way up in the zone, but it is playable for Jordan Beck. There's out number 2 in the 6th. Currently, I don't have anyone warming up yet, but maybe I should, although Feltner is making me feel pretty safe right now. We're at maybe 1/3 of our stamina right now. Feltner doesn't have the best stamina in the world, so he's probably not going to be able to go a full 9, even if he keeps the shutout going. We're now at the 3rd time through the order. That was a meatball of a fastball. 3rd time through the order is when things start to get a little hairy typically. Feltner not doing himself any favors in this at bat, and Ruiz will swing and miss on what would have been ball 4. He gets through 6 scoreless innings. Still no more runs from the offense, but 4 is all you really need. That's a reasonable number of runs to put up, especially when you've got a performance like this from your pitcher. Feltner now into the 7th, and he's got his first out on 1 pitch. Feltner's energy officially in the yellow, which tends to be when I see these pitchers fall off quite a bit. He's got a 2-0 count to Velasquez. He'll throw a fastball here. That one's left up. Nolan Jones did not get a good first step, but still makes the play in right field. Out number 2. If he can get through 7 cleanly, I'll let him have an 8th. Let's see if he can do it against Bobby Dahlbeck. First 2 pitches were low. Now we'll try to go to a high fastball, hopefully keep it in the zone. That is called ball 3. And that shouldn't have been ball 3. That hit the zone. It should be called a strike. Let's try it again. High heat. That was not high heat. That was actually right down the middle heat. Now it's 3-1. Feltner misses high to Bobby Dahlbeck. Still in the game. I think this needs to probably be his final inning of work now, looking at his stamina again. And he is starting to miss location. He finds himself behind in the count against Tyler Soderstrom. And oh my goodness. The shutout for Ryan Feltner is ruined. Left a sinker hanging for Soderstrom. That's a 2-run shot for the Athletics. 465. Only Soderstrom's 6th on the season. Although he has good power, doesn't he? I'm surprised he only has 6. Maybe he's been hurt. And that's 4-2 now. Left Feltner in a batter too long, just like we did with Jack Flaherty. And that'll end Ryan Feltner's day as he gives up 2 earned runs here in the 7th, but it was really an excellent day from Feltner. Hopefully that sets him up with some positive momentum. I think that's one thing we failed with Dollander and Page. Their first starts were absolutely horrible, and it kind of set them up for failure. Here comes Lucas Gilbreth to take over. And we'll finish out this game for the Rockies. Why not? He faces Clark Elliott. Gilbreth misses with the slider. Pop up to shallow center. This is way in the air, though, so Fernandez no problem getting underneath it. That'll end the top part of the 7th. 4-2 Colorado after the Tyler Soderstrom 2-run shot. Here's the man of the hour, Sterling Thompson. He's up over 800 on his OPS. The man is just crushing it the last couple of months. Things you'll love to see. That was a great sinker. I'll try to edit and zoom in on it at the bottom, but the ticker at the bottom just said that the Yankees were going to reduce their win total this season from last season. That's so sick. I love seeing stats like that. Why can't we see stuff like that in Madden? That's a base hit from Sterling Thompson. He is playing so well. He's now 3 for 3 on the day. Cubs to decrease their 2024 win total 97 by 17 games. Pirates to decrease their win total as Jordan Beck fouls one off. It's just so cool. Look at that down at the bottom. The ticker actually gives such worthwhile and interesting information. There's a great circle change right on the edge of the zone, called a strike. Swing and a miss on a low slider. He cannot battle back. And then here's Ahmed Rosario at the top of the lineup. And that is a grounder onto second. This should be a relatively easy double play, and it is. That'll end the 7th. We'll let Gilbreth continue here in the 8th, hopefully set up Jalen Beeks for a save. He faces Miguel Andujar here. Splitter gets a grounder onto Brendan Rodgers. There's out number 1. This one is blooped into left, and that'll get down for a base hit for Yorbeat Vivas. Now Gilbreth will face Ernaiz with a double play setup potentially. We've had a bunch of those today. Strike 3. Looked at a splitter right down the middle. What was my guy waiting for? I stuttered saying it because I was just surprised he didn't swing. And now we're to Ruiz at the top of the order, and he swings. Rodgers will throw on to Tovar, covering second. And that'll end the top part of the 8th. Can the Rockies get any additional runs before we send it off to Jalen Beeks? And another grounder onto second. 3 batters, 3 grounders onto second, 3 outs. That'll end the 8th. And we go to the top of the 9th where Jalen Beeks will get the opportunity to save. Here's his stats on the year. It has come back to a little bit more normalcy for him, but he is still playing very well. 28 saves, 4 blown saves on the season, 41 innings pitched, 3.07 ERA and a 1.17 whip with a 3.2 FIP. So all of his stats are better than they were last year, but his WAR has actually gone down, which is interesting. His K per 9 is better. His walk per 9 is better. His home run per 9 is slightly worse. Can he get a save? Once again, he'll face Jacob Wilson first, and the first pitch he sees is fouled off. Grounder onto second. That is the 4th in a row. That is a grounder to second base. That's out number 1 in the 9th. Grounder up the middle, the second. Whoa, it hit the bag. Ezequiel Tovar grabs it and can't make the play. Almost an assist by the bag. I forgot what I was saying. I was going to say something about it not going to the second baseman finally. That was really interesting to see. It hits the second base bag, bounces up perfectly. That would have been a crazy play if Tovar could have gotten it over there in time. So that is the tying run at the plate, and it's Bobby Dahlbeck, because of course it is, as he swings and misses on the circle change. This one is popped up by Dahlbeck, though. Sterling Thompson, the hottest man on the Rockies right now, will get the out. That brings up Soderstrom, who is responsible for the only 2 runs on the day for the Athletics. No 1 count. Jalen Beeks will go to the slider. Well placed, fouled off. Now we go to the high heat to try to get the strikeout on Soderstrom. He pops it foul again. And then you go back to the slider, low and away. Will Soderstrom swing and miss? He will. And the Rockies have swept the Oakland Athletics, snagging their 5th victory in a row. Rockies are playing like a cohesive unit for once. And it seems like maybe Feltner might be the key to success in the 5th pitching spot, at least for the rest of this year. Player of the game is Sterling Thompson, 3 for 3 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Feltner with the win, 6 2/3, 2 earned runs, 7 strikeouts, 2 walks. Here's the box score for the Rockies. Rosario unable to get a hit, but still batting a .316 on the year. Nolan Jones, a .282 average, had 1 hit. Tovar had a hit. Cohen is on a bit of a cold streak, down to a .236. Rodgers with a couple hits. Fernandez with a hit, up to a .240. Mejia no hits. He is really starting to fall off a cliff. He was batting around .300 for a lot of the year, and now he's at .260. Sterling Thompson, .296. I have him batting lower in the order against lefties, but man, the guy is just playing out of his mind. Jordan Beck, by the way, is batting .272. That is entirely respectable. Feltner gets the win. Gilbreth with 1.1 innings pitched, and Beeks with 1. So let me know what you guys think of that format where we kind of cover a full series, maybe with a player lock pitcher, a player lock player, and 1 full game. I think that works out really well for 1 full episode. And it kind of makes for a more cohesive episode because we're focusing on really 1 stretch of games rather than splitting them up by simulating a bunch. I personally am a fan of it. Let me know what you think. The Rockies are up to 57-71. They've won their 5th straight, and this next series will be against the 61-65 Yankees, who currently aren't that good of a baseball team, probably missing out on the playoffs as it stands. They won this game on Thursday that they had. I still don't think it's possible, but the Rockies are 10.5 games back of the wild card now. So let's do some simulating. Let's get through the rest of August. I think for next episode, I want to focus on this series against St. Louis. Interestingly, they have exactly opposite our record right now. They're 71-57. So I think they could be a good gauge for where the Rockies are sitting going into next season, potentially. But let's see, can the Rockies beat the Yankees? No, they get shut out. Another loss for Soroka. He goes 5 innings, giving up 2 earned runs. Really not a bad day for Soroka. Caleb Ferguson ends up giving up a run. Honestly, the pitching was not bad. It's just the bats did nothing. 2 more hits from Sterling Thompson, batting a .297 now. Tovar not doing great in the 3 spot. We'll have to keep an eye on that for sure. Second game against the Yankees, we lose again, 2-4 this time. It was Oviedo on the mound. Tovar did get a couple hits this game. Oviedo 4 earned runs in 4 innings pitched, only 1 strikeout and 2 walks. Not a good outing. Cody Hoyer, another good outing though. Still yet to give up a earned run. He pitched 2 full innings. And Caleb Ferguson 3 more runless innings, only giving up 1 hit with 4 strikeouts. God, Caleb Ferguson was such a good signing. And the Rockies avoid getting swept. They do. Cody Hoyer with a win. Did he finally give up his first run? Let's see. Hoyer did not give up a run still. Pitched 2 full innings with no more runs given up. Cal Quantrill had a pretty mad day. In fact, I would say it's kind of bad for his standards. 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 4 walks, 4 strikeouts. Now a series against the Blue Jays, and we'll sim through this. The Blue Jays beat the Rockies 2-1. They beat us 6-4 in Feltner's second start of the season. Let's see how it went. 5.1 with 5 earned runs, 3 walks, 3 strikeouts. Really not great. And finally, Cody Hoyer gives up his first earned run on the season. And Loaizaga gave us 2 good innings again. So I think any hopes of a wild card appearance have been dashed. Not that they were really any hopes at all. Series against the Giants starts with a 4-1 victory. Kyle Freeland gets the victory. We scored 3 in the 9th, and it was Oviedo with 6 good innings, only giving up the 1 earned run. Hoyer having an excellent outing again. Ahmed Rosario with 3 hits. Tovar and Jones for some reason swapped in the batting order, but neither of them got hits. Cohen with a hit. Rogers with 3 hits. The man's playing really well right now. That was a 0-6 loss versus the Giants. Another L for Cal Quantrill. This is actually a 4-game set against San Francisco. There's a win for Jack Flaherty. And after that win against the Giants, it is time for September call-ups. We can call up 2 players. One of those players is going to be Brenton Doyle. Brenton Doyle, welcome back to the MLB. He wasn't playing the best at AA, but he was improving. The bat was getting better. And I'm so ready to have Brenton Doyle back in the lineup. I'd also like to call up a guy we traded for, Samuel Basayo, but I don't actually want him to be the 28th guy. I'm actually just going to send Carson Kelly down. And should we call up the rookie reliever Taylor Bowers? He's actually losing K and walk per 9 right now. Oh, he's starting to play poorly at AAA. So never mind, actually. I'm going to send Bowers down to AA. And instead, I'm going to call up relief pitcher Henry Fong. I could bring up, a younger guy, although Henry Fong's only 24. But I'd rather these starting pitchers just continue to get playing time at AAA for the rest of the season. And I think Henry Fong makes the most sense. It was going to be Bowers, but with him playing poorly, let's make it Fong. Welcome to the show. By the way, Sterling Thompson's potential has not gone up. It is still just sitting stagnant at 80, which is a little unfortunate. I just think that his peak on a World Series caliber roster would be a platoon guy, but he's playing like one of the best players on the team right now. So let's simulate one more game, see how this new lineup looks, and that is an 11-7 victory over the Giants. Looks pretty good if you ask me. The top 2 guys did their jobs. Rosario with a hit, Thompson with 2 hits, Nolan Jones with 3 and 2 RBIs. Cohen didn't get a hit, but he did walk twice. Rogers with a hit, Tovar with a hit, Mejia, Beck, and Doyle all with hits. Beck with 3 and Doyle with 2. That's what we love to see from the return of Brenton Doyle. Now he's starting with good momentum. Hopefully he can keep that up. Feltner honestly didn't have the best day, but it's not bad. 5 innings pitched, 3 earned runs, 4 walks is a lot, but 6 strikeouts is good. Ferguson had one of his worst days as a Rocky, 2 earned runs and 1.2 innings pitched. Hoyer gave up another earned run in an inning pitched, and Fong gave up another earned run. Now it's a 2-game series against the Astros. We'll sim through that. Brendan Rodgers has knee inflammation and he'll be out for a day or 2. We'll keep him active, and that does allow Fernandez to come back in as a DH versus lefties, although who knows how long Rodgers will actually be out. It's a loss against Houston. Cody Hoyer getting a loss. And then another loss against Houston, a huge one, 5-13. Thompson is cooled back off. He's back under 290. Not a good outing from Oviedo. In fact, a terrible one. 2.2 innings pitched, 7 earned runs. Ferguson, another bad outing. He's cooling off. Peter Lambert, a really bad outing, and Loaizaga gave us 2 decent outs. And then finally, let's sim this series against the White Sox and see what we have to look forward to in the final episode of the regular season. It's a 6-4 victory. It's an 8-4 victory. And that's a 1-7 loss. Feltner has completely fallen apart now, up to a 7.64 ERA, 5 earned runs, only got through 2 outs, not even a full inning of work. So with that, the Rockies are 63-80 on the season, and it looks like they're actually going to get passed by the Giants here at the end of the year to be the worst team in the NL West. But anyways, that is going to do it for this episode. In the next episode, we'll focus on this series against the St. Louis Cardinals, who are 79-64. And then we'll probably just sim the rest of the season. And the following episode will be off season number 2. The Rockies are much improved from season 1, but still a long ways to go. But I think there is a slim chance we could be fighting for a wild card spot next season if we play our cards right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate the continued support. If you find yourself coming back on the regular and you are already subscribed, YouTube says that 70% of people who watch my videos are not subscribed. I'd really appreciate it if you hit that sub button. But I will see you guys in the next episode where we'll finish out season number 2.